Gandhi was born on 2nd October 1869. He was an Indian lawyer, anti-colonial nationalist and political ethicist who employed non-violent resistance to lead the successful campaign for India's independence from the British rule and in turn inspired movements for civil rights and freedom across the world. The word Mahatma means great soul, and it was first applied to him in 1914 in South Africa. It is now used throughout the world. Today we will celebrate the birth anniversary of the father of our nation and remember him with reverence and pay our homage to the great soul. Let us now watch a PowerPoint presentation by the students of Class 8 highlighting the life of Mahatma Gandhi.
हे राम।
Good morning everyone. Today on the eve of Gandhi Jayanti, we are going to talk about the father of the nation. Gandhiji's childhood. Gandhiji was born on 2nd October in 1869 in Pobandar, Gujarat. His parents were Karamchand Gandhi and Putlibai Gandhi. Gandhiji was a very dedicated student of Ahmedabad. Later, he went to London to study law in University College, London's Faculty of Law. After that, he came to India to find a job, but here he couldn't find a job. So, he decided to go to South Africa to practice law. Gandhiji's main belief was that a strong nation couldn't be built without education. Gandhiji's participation in India's freedom. Gandhiji was an active participant in India's freedom, but he didn't ask the people to be violent. He had introduced many non-violent ways to throw the British out of India. Some of them are Quit India movement, Dandi March, non-cooperative movement, civil disobedience movement, etc. Gandhiji also told the Indians to lead a friendly protest. He also helped the untouchables of India and gave them the name of Harijans, meaning the children of the God. He also talked to the British to leave India. He had also went to jail, but never taught the people to be violent and taught the people to always say the truth. Non-cooperative movement. The non-cooperative movement was a mass movement launched by Gandhiji in 1920. It was a very peaceful and a non-violent protest against the British government in India. In this movement, people had to decrease their titles and leave their post in the local bodies as a mark of protest. The people also had to resign their governmental jobs. But this peaceful movement turned into a violent protest, as in Chauri Chaura, some angry people couldn't tolerate their anger and set fire in the British police stations in Chauri Chaura, but the British officers died. Immediately, the movement was called off by Gandhiji. Civil disobedience movement. The civil disobedience movement was launched against the Simon Commission in 1930. Complete independence was the main aim of this movement. The demand of this movement was formulated in the Lahore session after Gandhiji started the Dandi March and made salt from the sea water and broke the salt law. In this way, the civil disobedience movement started in India. The Quit India movement. The Quit India Act or Bharat Chhoro Andolan was a civil disobedience movement launched in India in August 1942 in response to call Gandhiji's Satyagraha. It was a mass protest. On 8 August 1942, Gandhiji issued a call to do or die. In this movement, every Indian waged a last struggle for India's independence or die in doing so. India's independence. After so many protests, the Britishers had to leave India on 15th August 1947. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was the first Prime Minister of independent India and Dr. Rajendra Prasad was the first President. Gandhiji, who was an active participant in India's independence, was assassinated by Nathuram Vinayak Godse on January 13, 1948, when Gandhiji visited the then Birla House in New Delhi for a prayer meeting. Godse had fired 3 bullets at Gandhiji's chest from a close range, ensuring his demise. Today, we celebrate Gandhi Jayanti on 2nd October every year. Salute to Gandhiji. Thank you everyone. So today, I Swarnadi Bhattacharya of class 8C salutes to those freedom fighters who gave up their lives for India's independence. I am proud to be an Indian and I end up my note here, and last thing I want to say that सारे जहां से अच्छा हिंदुस्तान हमारा.
We are indeed enlightened by the PowerPoint presentation. Thank you, Chris, for the wonderful presentation and the effort you have put in. Now we have a song represented by Sheela, cherishing the memory of Mahatma Gandhi and his fight against the British to help Indians to attain freedom from the dominance of the British Raj.
उपकार करे तो ये
Gandhiji brought anti-colonial nationalism to the common Indians. The British had prohibited Indians from collecting or selling salt. Indians were also forced to buy the staple diet ingredient from the British, who not only exercised monopoly over its manufacture and sale, but also levied a heavy salt tax. The Salt March was a collective beginning of a mass resistance movement against the British tyranny. The Salt March began on March 12, 1930 and continued till April 6, 1930. Let us now watch a PowerPoint presentation depicting the Dandi March from Sabarmati Ashram.
Hello everyone, this is Akash Roy from Sheela Model School Class 6F. With respect to Principal Ma'am and all other teachers, I am going to represent an explanation on Dandi March. On 12th March 1930, Gandhiji started the Dandi March from Sabarmati Ashram towards the small coastal village of Dandi. He marched against the state monopoly in manufacturing and selling of salt. Gandhiji chose salt because it was used in every Indian household. Yet, people were not allowed to make salt, even for domestic use. Parallel salt marches were conducted all over the country. Gandhiji, after reaching Dandi, broke the salt laws by manufacturing salt. It led to the beginning of the civil disobedience movement. It is a non-violence campaign against the British rule initiated by Mahatma Gandhi. Dandi March is also called Salt March or Salt Satyagraha. The Dandi March was important for the Indian development freedom. The Dandi March was the march of about 50,000 people. It is a protest against the high tax levied on salt by Britishers. The Dandi March turned into a civil disobedience movement against colonial rule in India. The Salt March was started at Sabarmati Ashram on 12th March 1930 and ended at the seashore of village Dandi on 6th April 1930. Dandi March was a big challenge to the British Empire, and later it became a crucial movement in India's independence fight. The aim of this Salt March was preparing our own salt without paying any heavy tax to the British government. Salt Satyagraha gave the chance to join the country people together for the reason that influenced everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, friends, for that vivid and descriptive presentation. It helped us to visualize the struggle put up by the Indians to help us gain our freedom. Some Indians thought Gandhi was too accommodating. Among them was Nathuram Godse, a Hindu nationalist who assassinated Gandhi on 30th January 1948 by firing 3 bullets into his chest. Gandhiji's birthday is commemorated in India as Gandhi Jayanti, a national holiday, and worldwide as the International Day of Non-Violence. Gandhi is commonly, though not formally, considered the father of the nation in India and was fondly called Bapu. Let us remember Gandhiji today and follow his ideals to help India develop into a great nation. Jai Hind.